It is not easy to live an open and honest life in a small Maine town.
Sturgis Haskins knew he was gay from a young age, but he didn't know a single gay person in Sorrento, the village in Down East Maine where he grew up in the 40s and 50s. He was an active member of his rural community, a local sailing champion and instructor, an amateur photographer, a defender of harbor speeding regulations, a candidate for public office, and an avid writer. He was also a collector who kept nearly every piece of paper he touched, and an activist who left behind the longest paper trail of the gay liberation movement in Maine. Sturgis loved Maine, but he had to leave to come out. He spent time in New York and Boston, finding community with other gay people, but he always returned to Maine. In the early 70s, he and his friends started Hancock County Gays, the first documented gay group in Maine. He also joined Gay Support in Action in Bangor.
That's where I first met Sturgis. There was a few of us who were students at University of Maine, Orono, and Karen Bai in particular had tried to put a motion before Gay Support in Action in July of '73 to start a university group. But that motion was defeated because these folks were just starting out. We just threw caution to the wind, and Karen insisted that we start meeting. The Wildstein Club was created in 1973 to fill the needs of the homosexual community at UMO. Membership is restricted neither by sex or sexual preference and is open to the entire university community. The goals of the organization are threefold: educational, social, and political. The purpose of the club is to create a campus atmosphere where the gay student can live in an open society free from repression and discrimination. That's well put.
But when Wildstein hosted a gay dance and started planning the first Maine Gay Symposium to happen on campus the following spring, controversy came for the club.
Good morning, let's talk it over.
As far as being a taxpayer, I object to my tax dollars going to the university when they imply that they sanction such things as these homosexuals out there.
Local ministers and Republican and Democratic state representatives alike called for decreasing university funds if the trustees allowed the club and the symposium to continue. Despite the vocal protest, the full university budget passed, and the trustees affirmed gay students' constitutional rights to gather on campus. The first Maine Gay Symposium was a success, with nearly 300 people attending. But it took many decades for gay rights to be legalized in Maine. A bill proposed by Representative Gerald Talbot in 1977 to amend the Maine Human Rights Act to include sexual orientation as a protected status was defeated. Other LGBTQ rights bills would be struck down 9 times over the next 30 years before finally passing in 2005. This act also extended protections to transgender people against gender identity discrimination. Grassroots activism won these rights for Maine citizens, and through it all, Sturgis was collecting meeting notes, magazines and newsletters, photos from protests and the memorial of Charlie Howard, and letters of support from across the country and every corner of the state.
Oh, nice. It's a good letter. I think your club is a great asset to the University of Maine. All you ask is fair play. If I am able in any ways as a citizen to further your club, I would be glad to. We got donations from people from all over the state, like 7 crumpled dollars from a hairdresser in Skowhegan, a tax return from a guy in Augusta. I don't know, this does me good. It does.
I have a growing problem. Boxes and boxes of stuff. Books galore, albums on this and that, and never time to properly organize.
In the last decades of his life, Sturgis began to give his boxes and piles away. He sent materials to institutions up and down the coast, including books about gay people to his high school library, and large donations to the LGBTQ collection at the University of Southern Maine and to Maine Historical Society. Sturgis knew that the physical record mattered, that it could make the invisible visible. The Brown Research Library is home to 57 boxes of materials from his life. Come see what stories you can find.